high. Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds of breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, and I'll surrender it. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me
Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today I will be talking about a new logo arriving, our investing, and our first, most importantly, our first message. Okay, so let's get started. So right now we lost some liquid. Well, we lost a bit of profit. good actually. We're not doing too bad. Oh yeah, we only lost like $1 of profit. Yes, was it yesterday? It was. Actually, we lost a few dollars of profit, but we haven't like gained. Uh, we haven't lost or gained. We haven't lost much. Uh, we still gain. Believe it or not, we actually still gained money. That may sound weird, but the only time you really lose money is when you cash out. Coinbase is $30 and then 8 coins, which is a bit more. Oh, spare thing. Excuse me. So yeah. Look on public. What we're trying to do is make a profit and earn liquid. Once we earn that profit, you cash out. But it will be what I'm more looking towards to cash out is my Coinbase, my crypto. That will be a while, because I don't have a ton of money to put in. So yeah. But we gonna point this so I can show you guys. But we were up 146. You guys can see that. There's not a web application yet. Well, 146. Okay, so I'm gonna explain a couple of things. gonna open up learn, but I want so I really encourage everybody to look into investing. Because once you start investing, it will help you a lot. So in the long run, like I said, you don't lose money unless you cash out, unless you sell too early and not being patient. But really, you don't lose money. But everything is a risk. So, why buy stocks in crypto? Crypto is never-ending investments that you can do. And eventually I will replay these lessons. I did show some on live, but I'm planning on doing more in the future. So yeah, owning stocks means owning a piece of a company. Invested fund and excuse me. Invested funds are working for you 24/7. Invested money can grow much faster than cash in a savings account. Ever wanted to own part of a great business? That's exactly what happens when you purchase stock. You're buying a part of the company. As a part owner, you're entitled to a share of the profits and assets of that business. You profit from owning stock in one of the two ways. The company can decide to return money to their shareholders via dividends. This is cash that is paid you to you on a regular basis for being a shareholder. 2. The business grows and the price per share increases. Once you decide to sell your shares, you pocket the returns. While money kept in a savings account gets eaten away by inflation, invested money is working for you 24/7. Time's over if you invest in the right companies. Every company, I will say this, and I might be saying something weird, but my opinion is every company, if you invest in it in the right ways, uh, it will earn you money, whether or not. Um, Inflation can be good or bad. Uh, uh, for example, Biden is raising taxes on everything. So that makes the supply, um, the product or whatever more expensive. So then the company can flourish. Um, and then there's no demand for it because people don't want to buy something that's too expensive, if you know what I mean. Moving on. On average, the stock market has returned around 10% annually since 1974 without factoring in inflation. That easily beats the 0.5% you'll get by keeping your money in a savings account. Investing. Start small, but start now. $2,000 can turn into almost 1,000 after 40 years. At a 10% return a year, investing in stocks can help you pay for your biggest goals. That 10% average increase may not sound like much, but given time, this interest compounds to produce incredible returns. Imagine someone told you that you could turn 2,000 into 1,000 with no work whatsoever. It sounds too good to be true. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, 2,000 into 100,000. My mistake. But it's completely possible if you understand compound interest, which will be discussed in the next lesson. The key element to remember here is time. The longer you have your money invested, the more powerful compounding becomes. No thanks, bud. The key element to that means that the younger you get started, and more patient you are, the greater returns you will reap in your future. However, you don't need 2,000 to get invested. Have your money invested. The more powerful compounding becomes. That means the younger you get started, and the more patient you are, the greater returns you will have. Oh wait, I already with that. Shoot. However, you don't need 2,000 to get invested. You can start small and keep adding to investing over time. You will be amazed by quickly your investing can grow. In fact, if you added 100 a month to that initial 2,000 of investment, after 40 years you'll you have close you'd have close to 1 million. You'll have more both winners and losers. But if you learn how to invest, identify good companies, you'll have some stocks that multiply 10 times or more in value over the years. Uh, the biggest advantage you can give yourself is to start early and let the compounding work in magic. Guys, I'm gonna go get some water. Okay. Um, um, hold on. Oh boy. Okay. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. show that I'm live on Discord. Actually, I could just do this. Okay, there we go. Alright, close this out. And then our family getting up to $26 again. And then go back to this. Compound interest is when the money you earn starts earning money. Compounding is the easiest way to become wealthy. The sooner you begin investing, the more time your earnings have to compound. Compound interest is an investor's best friend. Compounding is simply when the money you earn starts earning money. This means your stash is growing faster than if you were simply adding a lump sum every month. So when people say I can't afford to start investing, truth is you can't afford not to start investing. Because time is the issue here, not money. Compound interest is a real silver bullet when it comes to growing your wealth. In the early years you start, the more powerful it becomes. A certificate, a CD, or a certificate, a deposit, a government bond over time might give you 5% per year. A 10% annual return is the historical average for the stock market, and 15% is what you could get if you learn how to pick your own stocks and take advantage of the skills my Wall Street teaches. That's it. This app that I'm using right now. The majority of people subscribe to some form of online entertainment service like Spotify Premium or Netflix. A lot subscribe to both. The $18 leaves our bank accounts every month, and we would barely even notice. Let's say if you're 18 years old, you subscribe to both services and remain a loyal customer for the next 50 years. You'll end up retiring $10,800 small price to pay for being able to binge watch Breaking Bad. I hear you say. And you stuck that $18 into a savings account and said you have that $10,800 when it comes to retiring, plus some interest, of course. Inflation will have eaten up a huge chunk of that, so it's hardly worth giving up the comfort and convenience of your subscription accounts. Had you invested that money after year one, on average, you're up 10% on your original investment. A year later, you make interest on your interest, and so on. It's like adding successive layers to a cake with each a little larger nonetheless. So if you consistently invested that money, after 50 years, it will be worth over 300,000. Still think you can't afford to start investing? Alright. Think I'm gonna put more money into this, such as Google is a little bit more expensive. Coinbase pays fees, but not as much. That's Coinbase. Or Crypto.com. Okay. Next lesson is pay yourself first. I'm really tired. No, what one take it from here. Um,
Why invest? Pay yourself first. The nutshell. Saving 10% of your total income is a good goal. Set up automatic transfers into savings on the day you get your paycheck. If you pay yourself first, you won't even notice there's less money to spend. Now that we've decided that you can afford to start, how do you go about building up that investment fund? If you're someone who has trouble saving money, this is where the biggest change is going to have to come. You can't invest without being a disciplined saver. Instead of saving what you don't spend, spend what you don't save. Think of this as investing in yourself. You need to learn to pay yourself first. You already pay the companies behind your credit card, gas, water, electric, cable bill, and phone bills every month, right? Now, add yourself to the list. So, how much should you pay yourself? Aim for 10% of your total income, but anything is better than nothing. It may seem like a lot to those who struggle every month to pay bills, but the less you have at hand, the less you'll spend. Set up automatic transfers so your savings leave your account as soon as you get paid. You'll be amazed at how fast you can adapt to spending a little less. Ideally, you should be investing this money in the stock market, where its 10% average annual returns and compounding can begin building your wealth. However, if you know you're going to need that money in the near future, it's better to keep it in cash. This will ensure you don't have to sell your investments prematurely and lose money in a down market. Once you've built up a cushion of emergency money, you can start investing.
Alright, I'll read the next one. Three steps to saving. Every dollar is an investment in the quality of your life. Build a cash cushion of 3 to 12 months of income before you invest. Track your spending by writing down or using online tools to help you. Having a cash cushion is an important step before you start investing. Though it's natural to want you to jump right and get your money in the market. This can be dangerous. A successful investor understands that over the short time your investments may lose money. I don't recommend short-time investing. We recommend a long-term buy and a hold philosophy when it comes to investing. If you put all your cash into the market, you may end up needing in the near future. The market could be done at that stage, meaning you'll have to sell your investments for a loss. If you have a cash cushion, you can leave your investments intact and wait for a recovery. You should therefore try to build up a cash cushion of at least 3 months' salary. This may sound difficult, but it's easy to train yourself to save money. And once you get the habit of doing so, you will see your account balance go up every month. Step 1. Retire short-term debt. If you're paying a high interest rate on credit cards, you need to retire that debt. You can build long-term wealth or skip that. Because none of my followers I know that have a credit. Treat every dollar like an investment. This is crucial line frame to get your wish to become a successful investor. An investment is more than just shares. We make investments every day. Some of these are important, like the roof over your head. Some of these are frivolous, like a new pair of sneakers you don't really need. Next time you pull out your debit card or credit, if you have one, ask yourself, is this the best investment I can make with this money right now? You won't put your wallet away every how you do this, but just practicing this routine can help you save a lot of money. Practice spending. Ever come to the end of the month and wonder where all your hard-earned dollars went? It happens to us all now and then. A good way to counter this is to start tracking your spending. There are plenty of apps available to keep tabs on where your money is going. You might need to be shocked to realize how much spend simply on going out for lunch every day, or on getting that extra cup of coffee from Starbucks. There are many small changes you can make that can greatly increase your overall wealth.
Why invest? Timeline. The nutshell. If you need your money in the next year, it should be in cash. Any money that you don't need in the next year should be invested. You should invest with a 5 to 10 year timeline in mind. Go long. When choosing how much money to invest in the stock market, it's important to consider how long it will be before you need that cash. Here are 2 rules of thumb to follow when deciding where the smartest, safest, and most profitable place for your savings. Rule 1. If you need your money in the next year, it should be in cash. The stock market can fluctuate greatly. It's no fun to need cash for, say, a down payment on your first home and find that your stocks are down 50%. If you're house shopping, wedding planning, or car buying within the next year, keep those necessary funds in a savings or money market account. Double check that it's FDIC insured, too. Rule 2. Any money you don't need within the next year is a candidate for the stock market. This is where the fun begins, and it's why we encourage you to get saving now. Any cash you don't need in the coming year can go to work for you every day in the stock market, taking bigger risks and affording you larger profits. When you invest with funds that you have no immediate need for, you protect yourself from the short-term fluctuations of the stock market. Over the course of a year or two, you could see your investments suffer a loss, but on a longer timeline, the stock market and great companies get bigger and more profitable. That's why you should invest with a 5 to 10 year timeline in mind. This will prevent you from pulling your funds out in a downturn and incurring a loss. Thanks for listening. You are one step closer to becoming a successful investor. Why not download Invest by Rubicoin and start thinking about that first investment? You'll find a link at the bottom of this chapter.
Alright. So that's the first section. And we'll chill. We're gonna take a little break. Like I said earlier, every company I think is a good investment. Just need to be careful. No one in chat. And the basics around economics are, and I said this earlier in live, money, supply and demand, and how it interconnects. So you can probably figure that out if you're really economic and know a lot about money. But yeah, and pair that with taxes and stuff. But yeah. Um, and also pair that with sales. Uh, each sale they're trying to make a profit. Um, that's basically it. Um, so if the company is down, um, they're not making a good amount of profit, or don't have supply and demand. Uh, Either one or the other, or both. Alright. Um, let's do this next section, okay?
Basics. What is a stock? The nutshell. A stock is a piece of ownership in a company. In the short term, share price changes based on the fickle opinion of the masses. In the long term, a company's true value is reflected in its share price. What is a stock? More than just a slip of paper or a computer record these days, a stock is a stake in a living, breathing business where you share in the rewards and risks alike. In order to raise capital, companies issue stocks for sale to the general public. which are then traded as the value rises and falls. Stocks are traded on various exchanges all around the world, the largest being the New York Stock Exchange. In the short term, a share price moves based on the opinion of the crowd, those people looking to buy or sell. When there are more people looking to buy, up the price goes. This is usually fickle, because the news of the day influences what the world thinks about certain stocks. Over the long term, however, a company's true value is reflected in its price. That's why time, more than anything else, is the critical ingredient of successful investing. As part owner, you are entitled to a share of that company's profits and assets. You also have a say in how that business is run. How much of these profits you have claim to and how much influence you have depends on the amount of stocks you own relative to the total number of shares issued. Stocks are the backbone of a good investment portfolio and have proven to outperform every other form of investment in the long run.
Alright. What up? And I say, alright, I'm gonna take a break from this, and then alright. Yeah. Alright. Now. Maybe I need guys, yeah, shit, I don't know. I feel so sleepy. Gosh. Maybe it's because I took the chocolate milk. I don't know. Yeah. We need some sort of G Fuel caffeine. Feel like better though. After I drink some water, that is. Yeah. Oh shit. But, right. Alright, I think we're ready to get back to the stream. Just have to take a big water break. Um, Alright, so next, sector, I guess you could say, sector. Eventually, I will I will put more money into Robinhood. I just haven't done it yet, but yeah, Robinhood and Public. I'm gonna transfer this money into Public, since Public is a better teaching app. At least I would think. Legal is too, but they don't have. You need to do $100, at least $100 deposit, to buy a stock, or more, $100 or more to buy a stock, because you can't do fractional shares. Alright, so with that, we're gonna do the next lesson. I'm gonna show my screen here. Alright. So, Alright. Go to Cyber Life. Oh yeah, I could just plug it into here. And then, excuse me. Alright. So now we're back. I just brought my brother in my room so we can just chill. So I'll have to market up just crypto because crypto is. Wait, where did my right there? Because crypto is the only one that's open. It's 24/7. But yeah. The market is closed. It is not 24/7. But it kind of is because after hours. That doesn't really count. Um, so yeah, we're just gonna. There we go. Right. Finish this up.
In a nutshell, a ticker symbol is a 4 or 5-letter abbreviation that easily identifies every public company. Stocks traded on the NYSE have symbols with up to 3 letters, like MA, MasterCard. Stocks traded on the NASDAQ have symbols with 4 letters, like MSFT, Microsoft. What is a ticker symbol? A ticker or stock symbol is a unique 3, 4, or 5-letter abbreviation assigned to every public company for identification purposes. All tickers use only capital letters. Think of tickers like nicknames. Sometimes they can be exactly the same as the brand name, like IBM. Sometimes they can even be clever, like Anheuser-Busch choosing the ticker symbol BUD, or Harley-Davidson going with HOG. A 2007 academic study actually showed that stocks with creative ticker symbols tend to have higher returns than the overall market. Stocks traded on the New York Stock Exchange have symbols with up to 3 letters, like T, AT&T, DO, Diamond Offshore Drilling, and LUV, Southwest Airlines. Stocks traded on the NASDAQ usually have 4-letter symbols, like MSFT, Microsoft. If you see a 5-letter ticker symbol that ends with the letter X, that is how you can automatically recognize a mutual fund, like UUPIX, or ProFunds Ultra Emerging Markets. Beware that mutual funds don't actually trade on any exchange the way stocks do, though.
Are you okay, Josh?
Basics. Public offerings. In a nutshell, an IPO is when companies sell their stock for the first time to the public. A company uses an underwriter to determine the best price to sell the shares at. IPOs let companies raise a lot of money they don't have to pay back. What does going public mean? An initial public offering, known as an IPO, is when company stock is sold for the very first time to the general public. This is the same day the company gets listed on a stock exchange. From this day forward, it's no longer a small circle of company founders who own the business. It now also belongs to the public. Who determines the price? The company hires an underwriter. An underwriter's job is to get all those initial shares out the door. To do that, they can either analyze the company and slap a price on it, aka fixed pricing, or they can call around to the biggest investors in the country and gauge the demand, aka book building. Once the shares are on the open market, though, their value is determined only by market sentiment, which is the way investors feel about the company. Why do companies go public? Most importantly, to raise money without asking a bank for it. See, the money that a company gets from an IPO never needs to be paid back. The company can use that money to grow operations, buy new equipment, or even acquire other companies. Original shareholders also like the idea of spreading the risk around. After going public, the owners of a company can cash in some profits while holding on to just a percentage of the company.
Alright.
Basics. Stock exchanges. The nutshell. Stock exchanges, NYSE, NASDAQ, operate within a geographical stock market, US, Japanese, etc. Shares for sale have an ask price, and buyers pay a bid price. The gap between the bid and ask is the spread, a commission paid to exchanges. Stock market versus stock exchange. The stock market means all stock exchanges within a geographical region. For example, the US stock market or the Indian stock market. Within each market, there are multiple stock exchanges. A stock exchange is like a supermarket for shares. Think of the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange Club and Costco. They sell similar things and they have to compete for customers. The more trades they process, the more money they make. Any share you want to buy or sell will be listed on an exchange. As the buyer or seller, it makes no difference to you which one it is. When you go online and place your order, trade to the correct exchange within seconds. Exchanges pair up buyers and sellers, just like eBay. When shares are for sale, they have an asking price, called the ask price. Buying shares is just like being the bidder on eBay, so the buyer has to pay a bid price. There will always be a gap between the two, usually a few pennies. This is called the spread. That spread is how the exchanges make money. It's their commission.
Keine Kreis mehr.
Okay.
No, this one.
You want this one?
Yeah. This one is so.
Gonna put some deodorant on. Yeah. Wow.
Wells. Bells.
Bills.
Bells.
Get right in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, little weird. No, Alright. Next one.
Basics. The S&P 500. The nutshell. The Standard & Poor's 500 is a selection of 500 stocks that represent the entire stock market. When people talk about beating the market is the S&P 500. If the S&P 500 goes up 10% and your portfolio goes up 13%, you beat the market by 3%. What is the S&P 500? Turn on any financial television network and you'll almost certainly hear someone mention the S&P within 5 minutes. You'll also hear professional investors talk about beating the market. So what are they talking about? The S&P 500, or Standard & Poor's 500, is a selection, aka index, of 500 stocks that are a microcosm of the entire stock market. It is the most commonly followed index and considered a good indicator of the health of the U.S. economy. It's been around since 1923, but the 500 companies have changed since then. You'll often hear people talking about beating the market. The market, in this case, means the S&P 500. For example, if the S&P rose 13% in 1 year, but your stock portfolio went up 17% that same year, you beat the market by 4%. Job well done. Beating the market is seen as the holy grail of stock investing. There are plenty of other indexes that track various sections of the stock market, both in the States and worldwide. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is similar to the S&P 500, except it focuses on 30 companies. The FTSE 100 tracks the UK stock market, while the Nikkei 250 tracks Japan. There are indexes for specific industries, and even very specialized indexes to track things like ethical companies. Basics. Company size. The nutshell. To determine the size of a company, look at market capitalization. Market cap for short. Market cap equals number of shares outstanding times share price. Market cap sizes range from nano, micro, small, mid, large, and mega. New investors often fall into the trap of equating share price with value. In reality, the two are completely independent of each other. The share price is actually of very little consequence. As you will see later with stock splits, a company's share price is dependent on how many shares are in the market at any given time. Let's take the example of McDonald's and Chipotle Mexican Grill. A stock in Chipotle currently costs around 6 times that of McDonald's. So which is the bigger company? Chipotle is a great company, which has been expanding rapidly, but it's nowhere near competing at McDonald's level just yet. To get the figures, we look at the market capitalization of each company. We can work that out by looking at the current share price and multiplying it by the number of shares in the market. Chipotle has around 31 million shares in the market right now, making the company worth $18.5 billion. McDonald's, on the other hand, has almost 8 billion shares, giving them a value, or market cap, of over $100 billion. So what does this mean for investors? Shouldn't you just invest in the most valuable companies? It all depends on what your goal is as an investor. The more valuable companies are much safer investments. Apple, Google, and Disney aren't going anywhere anytime soon. you're pretty much guaranteed that you won't lose all your money on these guys. The flip side is, these companies aren't going to grow as fast as smaller companies like Chipotle, iRobot, and SolarCity. These companies have more room to expand, and therefore could see huge rises over the next few years. Of course, that also leaves them riskier investments. So, you're making a trade-off between risk and reward. The more volatile a company, the greater the potential for growth. The more secure a company, the less the chance of quadrupling your money. There are 6 levels of market capitalization. Mega cap, least risk, slowest growth, 200 billion and greater. Large cap, 10 to 200 billion. Mid cap, 2 billion to 10 billion. Small cap, 300 million to 2 billion. Micro cap, 50 million to 300 million. Nano cap, most risk, fastest growth, under 50 million.
I'll go,
What is it, Josh? Wait. Penny stocks trade for very low figures, sometimes a fraction of a penny per share.
Oh, God.
Sure. They do not have to meet the same standards as companies listed on the NYSE or the NASDAQ. These are susceptible to the price manipulation and should be avoided. One of the most frequent questions asked by new investors is related to penny stocks. These are stocks traded on the smaller exchange or pink pages. Penny stocks can be brought for next to nothing per share. Nothing, sometimes a fraction of a penny. Investors often think, wow, it couldn't go lower than that. Trust us, it can, and very often it will. Let's start by going through why penny stocks are a bad idea to begin with. I'm just getting a ton of YouTube notifications. Firstly, they don't have to comply with the same accounting standards as companies listed on the NASDAQ or NYSE. Oftentimes, companies are penny stocks simply because they can't comply with these standards or meet the minimum requirements of these exchanges. That's not the kind of company you should be investing in. These companies are not covered by Wall Street analysts, meaning there is very little historic or current information available. Finally, these companies are incredibly volatile. This is what draws novice investors to penny stocks. The potential for massive short-term growth. Keep in mind, it works both ways, and penny stocks are quickly become worth it. Penny stocks are highly susceptible 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 to price manipulation. This is where the pump and dump comes in. A pump and dump involves one investor buying up a large quantity of penny stock. They then spread hype about the company, claiming to have inside information through newsletters, message boards, cold calling, etc. Investors start pumping up the stock, making the price rise and pushing more and more investors to invest. The original investor then sells or dumps his large amount of stock, and the price plummets. Penny stocks may seem attractive for young investors, but really, they are a complete gamble. Investing in established companies with brilliant track records is a much more secure and lucrative place for your money. Okay. Dividends.
Basics. Dividends. The nutshell. Some companies pay out regular dividends to their shareholders. These companies are usually past the initial high growth stage. Companies that pay dividends are good investments for people approaching retirement, as they provide a steady stream of income. Some, not all companies, reward their investors with dividend payments on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. You'll often hear analysts talk about companies that are good to their shareholders. They're talking about companies that pay dividends. For some investors, this is a deal breaker when it comes to choosing stocks. Makes sense, right? Why would you invest in a company like Under Armour that pays no dividend when you can invest in Costco or Coca-Cola, who pay them out regularly? It all depends on what kind of investor you are and what you expect from your portfolio. When a company reaches the point that they are regularly profitable and have paid off all their debt, they have 4 choices with what to do with the money. 1. Reinvest in the company and try to expand either through new markets or new products. 2. Sit on the cash as to build up reserves. 3. Pay out a dividend to the shareholders. 4. Buy back shares in the company. When a company chooses not to reinvest, they're essentially saying that they've reached the point where substantial growth is no longer possible, so they pay out a regular dividend to keep the shareholders happy. If you're mature and approaching retirement, dividend-paying companies could be a good choice for you. A steady source of income can help you through retirement, and the stocks can be passed down to your children. Companies that pay dividends are usually less volatile, as the regular dividend provides confidence to investors. However, in a downturn, companies may have to decrease or eliminate their dividend. This is a massive red flag. Investors will jump ship at the mere suggestion of a dividend cut, reducing the share price. Now you have shareholders who've lost capital and are seeing their steady source of income slashed. Not a good mix. Younger investors really shouldn't concern themselves too much with dividends. With time on your side, you should be looking for companies with plenty of room to grow their business and, in turn, your investment. If you want to find a nice middle ground, look for companies that engage in stock buybacks. When a company buys back its own stock, it not only increases the share price, but is a massive show of confidence in the business from the people who know most about the potential challenges and opportunities ahead.
Alright, stock split.
Basics. Stock splits. The nutshell. When a stock splits, the share price goes down and the number of shares goes up. If a company splits 2 for 1, 500 shares at $20 becomes 1,000 shares at $10. Splits make stocks more liquid and more affordable to everyday investors. How is it possible to turn 1 million shares into 2 million overnight? By doing a stock split. If you own 50 shares of Walmart, WMT, and the company does a 2 for 1 stock split, you now have 100 shares of Walmart stock. Did you just double your money? No, because in a 2 for 1 stock split, the share price gets cut in half. So what's the point of all this? If one share of Priceline, for example, costs $1,000, then only investors with over $1,000 could become shareholders. So the thoughtful chaps running Priceline might make a decision to split shares 3 for 1. So in this example, one share is worth $1,000 before the split, and afterward there are 3 shares worth $333.33 each. Same difference. However, now there are more shares on the market, making it even easier for people to buy and sell them. During a stock split, the value of the company never changes, but it makes the company look more affordable to small investors, and they start buying. This can boost demand and drive up the stock price for a short time following the split. There's also something called a reverse stock split. Just as a company like Google may want to seem more affordable, smaller companies sometimes want to appear more expensive and, in turn, more reputable. A stock that is valued at $1 per share can do a reverse 5 for 1 split and end up with a $5 stock and 1/5 as many shares in the market.
Alright, fire hydrant. Uh, plus, 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 verify. Ah, shoot. Try this. Okay, open this. I don't know what happened. Alright, so also, I'm going to show you my new logo. She's just making some changes for our new channel logo. So I will show you that right now.
Jacob,
Yes?
you did the top row.
Okay.
Don't forget.
Alright. So do 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 do. Come on. Okay, there we go. So she's gonna switch this and this because this isn't right. It should be green, full, red, red there. So she is gonna change that. But it looks good. Yay or nay to this? Can I get a yay or a nay in the chat? We have one viewer. Can I get a yay and nay or nay in the chat, please? From Twitch. Our viewer from Twitch. Right. Can I please get a yay or a nay? Yay or nay? Hi Garfield. How are you? Uh, person, can you please answer?
Don't share that with him, but I'm sure he already knows. So he doesn't. Yeah. He's telling him, but pretty clear. Yeah. Okay. So I put a girl emoji and then a girl emoji. Okay. And then a laughing emoji. And he said, why did you do that instead of a man emoji? That's not. They put this man. And then I put a laughing emoji. And then I said, oh. We are always learning together. Other people, no matter our age, no matter if you're younger than us or older. That's not. Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, Jacob, that is pretty weird. Why did you do that? Jacob, were you not paying attention? I didn't know you would. That sounds familiar.
Okay, I'm back. Well, it took a little longer than I would have. Yeah. I'll have to trim this down on YouTube, so, yeah.
Both Garfield and Tom have been outside today. More than
Why, son? It's a window. Ready to come in?
so.
So you're right.
Okay, so, that is our logo, and, yeah.
Jacob, you need to bring your.
I will end this video and, trim it down. So, I'll leave it for the